Okay, we're live on a Google Hangout. Hi, this is Gertrude Mache here in Wellington, New Zealand. And today I am interviewing the producer, scriptwriter, Chris Silber in Los Angeles. Chris, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Awesome. Chris, I'm really excited to talk to you today about your new show, live from Schittsburg. Can you
You're breaking up a little, but I'm just going to talk about the show. Yeah, the show is basically an online web comedy show that we're developing and that we are hoping to grow into something that will also be picked up one day and grow bigger. It is a show that is a sketch comedy on the web. It's a short comedy show. It's the kind of show that I want people to watch it and say, we really want more of it. I have been teaching just a little bit because I don't have a lot of time in my career to be a teacher, but I felt that if I wanted to, if I was a film student, I've never gone to film school, but if I was a film student, I would want to be taught by people who actually work with me, who actually make things happen. So one special thing about this is that it's a project that I'm doing to give young talent a shot, because I've taught comedy, writing, and I found some amazing talent. And I really wanted to give them a chance to work with someone like me who's established and who's done a lot, and kind of bring some of my friends and some people that I know in film and entertainment into this, so that they can have this experience of working with an accomplished professional. And a lot of my friends were gracious enough to be part of it. People like friends like Macy Harris and Dan Nanan, well-known comedians and other people come out and guest host these episodes. So it's a bit like a variety show type of thing, where you have guest hosts and guest sketches, that sort of thing.
So tell me, why is diversity so important for this particular production for you?
Well, it is the film school that I am teaching in Southern California is a very diverse campus. It's actually a campus that's won several awards. It's on the President's Honor Roll for excellence in diverse education. And we were aware of the fact that at a place like this, we're just a couple of miles outside of LA, and the true landscape that I'm facing and what I'm looking at when I talk to my students in the classroom and also when I go around this area is extremely diverse. I mean, the traditional white Americans are basically the minority there, and I felt it was good to reflect that in the show as well, and to let the main talent in the show, the people that are regularly there in my classes and also in my comedy classes and also on the street around. So it's a show that has actually less white talent than anybody else. And that will be unique about it, I'm quite sure.
That's fantastic. Now, one of the talents that the show is something I do. Amazing comedian supposed to interview. Now, I'll probably get to catch him tomorrow so I can get his on what has been his experience working with you. Why would you say Dan is a unique performer or a unique individual?
Dan is. I met Dan actually on an airplane ride. We were both upgraded to first class. We recognized each other by the fact that we were the only two guys that were not wearing ties on that flight. So we're sitting in first class, flying from I think New York to Atlanta it was, and had such a good conversation that we ended up hanging out in the lounge for a long time. And Dan is just someone that, in my view, I love the fact that he does a comedy like he calls it. From what I remember, he calls it above the neck rather than below the waist. He does intelligent comedy. He's very open about the cultural aspects of America that are kind of strange and that still kind of throw people off. Because people look at him, and what do they think? They look at him and they go like, what race is this guy? And so he's open enough. I personally don't even believe in the concept of race, but that's what people will say when they see him, and he uses that in his comedy. And I think it's great. He's done that to, I mean, his success speaks for himself. He's performed in front of President Obama, all kinds of amazing people. He goes to the Apple convention and speaks there. We're good friends. I love what he does, and I love the fact that he's sort of under the radar of the usual public. He's not your typical comedian.
Yes, yes, and I guess because he is a cocktail of nations, is what I would like to call him. I mean, being Indian and Japanese, and people can't figure out what the hell he is. He really does epitomize the diversity that you are trying to bring through with this particular production, correct?
Right, yeah, very correct, yeah.
Fantastic. So, what do you want people to get out of this show? What is the walkaway, the one walkaway piece that you think people will get?
I really just want them to laugh most of all, and I want it to be a depiction of regular people that can be funny in a lovable way, that can sometimes make us go, oh, look at this person. Like, there's like this, we've got these amazing characters, like these very self-obsessed people, like a guy who just can't stop thinking of himself. His friend comes home, comes to visit him, and says, dude, my parents just died. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's like, oh, can I sing at the wedding? And he's like just someone that's so obsessed with himself that he can't think of anybody else. And we have a guy who's always trying to do nice things for others, but he somehow never gets it right, and so people always get really upset, although he's really just trying to be nice, but he always does it at an inappropriate time. Or we have a character, like this really overambitious news lady in our fictional town, because Shitberg is actually a town that we created. We sort of trying to encourage the average American to be funny and different and true to themselves, because Shitberg is a city that's sort of in all of us. Shitberg is this fictional city that sort of says, well, okay, so you're not in New York City, you're not in glamorous LA, you're hanging out there somewhere in Shitberg, but you can still be amazing and you can still be fascinating and funny.
Yes.
That's sort of what the show says,
And promoting his Facebook. Are you one of the characters in the show? And why a clown?
Well, the mayor of Shitberg is a clown. He wears a clown outfit. He's a very serious man. He just never smiles. So basically, you have to imagine that he's like he's German. He's got a German background like myself. I'm half German, and so he's got this very stern face, and he will like wear a clown's wig. And when someone asks him on the news program, Mayor, do you really think it's a good idea to wear a clown's wig for your campaign, for your mayoral campaign, your re-election campaign? He'll go like totally straight-faced to the camera, and he go like, I do it because it's funny. You don't understand humor. This is funny. I've always found like that sort of delivery funny when someone's completely straight, and he's the straightest guy you'll meet, like, and he just doesn't get comedy, just laugh. We have like this one YouTube video of him where we did that while we creating the music for Shitberg, which thankfully is done by another great friend of mine, a Grammy-winning composer and music producer, Alex Guerrero, an amazing musician. And we were at a studio, a very famous studio, where Madonna and all kinds of people have worked. And the mayor is in there with his clown's wig, and he just tells people, everybody thinks that Shitberg is not funny, but I will prove to you that Shitberg is the funniest place on earth. And then he starts dancing in the studio, but he's still like, his face is like this, he dances with this sort of expression. It's just a little thing that makes me, it's fun. I felt like, why not put myself into it? Because when I was in high school and in my student years, I had a lot of fun. I did comedy. I had a comedy act.
Retribution of laughter. Why is laughter so important?
Then I have to repeat that. I didn't understand that. Sorry. Can you repeat that question?
Did you get the last question, Chris? Okay, so my question is, you've tried to infuse a lightheartedness to this production, and laughter seems to be a very important component. Why is laughter that important in people's lives? A lot of us take lives a little bit too seriously. Why is laughter so important?
Well, I'm also half Jewish, and I grew up. You know, my grandmother was a woman who fought the Nazis, being Jewish in World War II. She went back to Europe from a safe place where she was, knowing that her family members were getting killed. And she was one of the funniest people you could imagine. She had this great sense of humor. And I think that in some sense, I think like some of my people, so to speak, they have that. It's in my tradition. I feel that laughter is a really great way, because I'm also, you know, I'm many things, but I'm half German, I'm half English, and I'm also half Jewish. And both of the English and the Jewish side give me personally a way of dealing with life that is a lot about humor. It's just in my nature, and so I sort of assume that everybody wants to, that laughter can help and cure everybody, because it's helped me through a lot of tough things in my personal life. So I sort of, even in very dark moments in my life, I usually tend to still see the comedy relief shine through here and there, you know, and I try to hold on to that.
Listen, Chris, I'm really grateful with this time to connect with you, to find out what the show is all about. I really thank you for time to connect with me. I will try and get hold of Dan and see if I can do an interview with him. And I might fire a few more questions at you before I write the article. So thank you so much.
No problem. All right.